Welcome, my dear friends. I hope you are very well. Let's start with shocking truth. Have you ever had a thought so loud, so convincing, that it completely derailed your entire day? A thought that told you you're not good enough, that you're going to fail, that everyone is judging you. It feels like an absolute truth, a concrete reality broadcast directly into your mind. But what if that voice is lying to you? What if the single biggest thinking mistake you're making is believing every single thing your brain tells you? This isn't just a bad habit, it's a silent takeover of your potential. Your mind is a thought factory working 24 hours a day, and it produces thousands of thoughts. Many of them are flawed, outdated, or just plain wrong. They are based on past hurts, on fears of the future, on comparisons to others. They are not facts. They are mental noise, but when you hear them, you accept them without question. You wouldn't trust a broken compass to guide you through a forest, so why would you trust a fearful, anxious thought to guide you through your life? This automatic belief is the foundation for so much of your suffering. It is the root of self-doubt, of imposter syndrome, of that constant feeling of not being enough. This happens because of a simple but devastating error in perception. You have conflated "I think it" with "it is true." You have handed over all your power to a mental process that is often irrational. Think of the last time you worried obsessively about something. Your body reacted as if the danger was real. Your heart raced, your stomach tightened, your mind sent out alarm signals. But was the danger real, or was it just a thought, just a story you were telling yourself about what might happen? Your nervous system can't tell the difference between a real threat and a vividly imagined one. So when you believe the negative thought, you are literally putting your body through a trauma for something that isn't even real. You are living in a prison of your own construction, with a warden that you appointed yourself. This is the first thinking mistake that paves the way for all the others. It makes you afraid to try new things. It makes you sensitive to criticism. It makes you doubt your own worth. It is the invisible wall between you and the life you know you are meant to live. But there is a way out, and it is simpler than you think, though it requires immense courage. The way out is to realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind the thoughts. You are the one who hears them. And because you are the listener, you have a choice. You can choose to engage with the thought, to argue with it, to believe it, or you can simply notice it. You can label it. You can say, "Ah, there is the thought that I am not good enough." Just by doing that, you create a tiny space. A moment of freedom. In that space you regain your power. You are no longer a puppet being jerked around by your mental chatter. You are the observer. This is the most profound shift you can make. It doesn't mean the thoughts will stop. It means they will lose their power over you. They become like clouds passing in the sky. You can see them, but you are not the clouds. You are the sky. This is the reward for understanding this first mistake: mental freedom. The freedom to choose your response. The freedom to not be a victim of your own mind. This is the first and most critical step to taking your life back from the brink, to stop the ruin before it begins. And it starts not with changing your thoughts, but with changing your relationship to them. And if you master that, if you learn to see your thoughts as just thoughts, you immediately run into the second, equally dangerous mistake. You start living your life in the waiting room. You put your happiness on hold. You tell yourself, "I will feel fulfilled when I get the promotion. I will allow myself to relax after I hit that financial target. I will be happy when I find the right relationship." This is the great deception of conditional living. You are treating your present moment, the only time you are ever actually alive, as an inconvenient hallway you must suffer through to get to the room called success. But what if the hallway is the entire house? What if you are missing your actual life right now because you are so focused on a destination that may not even bring you what you expect? This isn't ambition. This is a postponement of your existence. It is a theft of your own joy committed by you against you. This happens because of a fundamental misunderstanding of how the human brain experiences reward. We believe the peak of satisfaction will come when we grasp the trophy. But neuroscience reveals a different truth. Our brain's reward chemical, dopamine, spikes highest during the anticipation of the reward, not upon its receipt. The chase feels thrilling, the capture often feels quiet, ordinary. This is why the new car loses its shine, why the new job title starts to feel normal. It's not that these things aren't achievements. It's that your brain is designed to constantly look for the next source of reward. It's a survival mechanism that ensured our ancestors kept striving for more, but in our modern world, this wiring has been hijacked. You achieve one goal, and your brain, wired for more, immediately scans for the next target, making the achievement itself feel hollow. You are caught in a loop, constantly feeding a hunger that can never be satisfied by an external arrival. This creates a psychological state of perpetual lack. You are always not there yet. This state generates a low frequency anxiety that becomes the background static of your entire life. It drains your creative energy. It makes the work feel like a burden because the reward is always out there, never right here. It kills your motivation because the path feels long and the destination never gets any closer. You burn out not from the work itself, but from the weight of the meaning you've assigned to it. The crushing pressure for this one goal to finally be the thing that makes you feel whole. But it was never the goal's job to make you whole. That was always your job, and it can only be done right here, right now, in the only moment you ever truly have. The escape from this trap is a radical shift in focus, from destination to path, from when I arrive to because I am here. Success is not a place you get to. It is a thing you do on the way. It is the process itself. The goal is the compass point, but the journey is the map. Your life is drawn on that map, not at the compass point. This means finding the pride in the early morning effort before anyone else is awake. It means discovering the joy in solving a small piece of a large problem. It means feeling the satisfaction of consistency, of showing up even when you don't feel like it. This is where real power lies. When you fall in love with the process, you ensure a constant, renewable supply of motivation and satisfaction. The journey itself becomes the reward. The goal becomes a celebration point along the way, not the sole source of your validation. This is how you build a life that feels rich and successful every single day. Not just on the day you finally cross a finish line that your mind will instantly move. You break the cycle of lack. You step off the treadmill. You finally start living in the only time that is real, now. This shift in focus, from the distant horizon to the ground beneath your feet, is your first true act of rebellion, but the mind is a stubborn opponent. It has a third, deeply ingrained mistake ready to undermine your newfound presence. It is the habit of personalization. You see a colleague who doesn't smile back and immediately think, "What did I do wrong?" Your project gets criticized and you hear, "I am a failure." A friend is short with you on the phone and you assume you've become a burden. This is the ego's default setting, to place itself at the absolute center of every event. It is a cognitive distortion that turns you into the star of a movie nobody else is watching. You are interpreting the world through a lens that is cracked with your own insecurities. The world is not happening to you, it is simply happening. People are living their own complex lives, battling their own private wars, governed by their own moods and histories. Their behavior is almost always about them, not you. But when you personalize it, you take a poison that was never meant for you. You create suffering where none was intended. This mistake is a relic of our ancient need for tribal belonging. To be cast out meant death, so we became hyper, vigilant to social cues. But that ancient alarm system is now misfiring constantly in our complex modern world, creating a relentless background hum of anxiety and self-doubt. It makes you hypersensitive, reactive, and fragile. It forces you to waste precious mental energy deciphering hidden meanings that do not exist. It pulls you out of your own purpose and into a paranoid dance of trying to manage perceptions you cannot control. This is how you give your power away. This is how you become a prisoner of other people's moods, opinions, and actions. Your emotional state is no longer your own. It becomes a puppet on strings held by everyone around you. The antidote is a profound and liberating realization. You are not that important. This is not an insult. It is a key to your freedom. The cashier who was rude is worried about her sick child. The boss who was critical is under immense pressure from his superiors. The friend who didn't call back is drowning in their own overwhelm. Their actions are about their reality, not a commentary on your worth. When you stop personalizing, you detach yourself, worth, from the uncontrollable external world. You build an inner citadel of peace that no outside event can penetrate. You stop reading the commentary and start writing the script. This doesn't make you cold or uncaring. It makes you grounded. It allows you to respond to people with clarity and compassion instead of reacting from a place of hurt and defense. You can hear feedback without crumbling, because it is about the work, not your soul. You can observe another's bad mood without letting it become your own. This is the foundation of true emotional resilience. It is the practice of returning to your center again and again, and remembering that your value is an internal fact, not an external verdict. The world becomes a much lighter place to live in when you stop carrying the weight of everything that was never yours to hold. And just as you learn to stop taking things personally, a fourth mistake emerges from the shadows. It is a filter your brain uses to process reality. This is the negativity bias, a primal instinct to prioritize threats, to cling to criticism, and to overlook the good. Your mind is Velcro for negative experiences and Teflon for positive ones. You receive 10 compliments and 1 piece of criticism. Which one do you replay in your mind for days? The criticism. You have 100 good moments in a day and 1 frustrating event. Which one defines your entire day? The frustration. This isn't a choice you're making. It is your brain's default setting, a survival mechanism honed over millennia to keep you safe from danger. But in a world where physical threats are rare, this bias has become a weapon you turn on yourself. It actively, silently edits your life. It deletes your victories. It dims your joys. It highlights your failures and weaves them into a story about who you are. You are not seeing an accurate reflection of your reality. You are seeing a distorted highlight reel of everything that is wrong, lacking, or could potentially go wrong. This filter paints your entire world in shades of lack and insufficiency. It convinces you that you are falling behind, that you are not enough, that everyone else has it figured out. It is the engine of anxiety and the quiet voice of depression. It makes you risk-averse because it magnifies potential losses and minimizes potential gains. It tells you to play it safe, to stay small, to avoid the sting of failure. But in doing so, it guarantees the one thing it claims to protect you from, a life of regret, a life not fully lived, because a life focused on avoiding pain is a life that avoids the very experiences that bring growth, joy, and meaning. You are so busy looking for cracks in the foundation that you never build the house. The way to dismantle this filter is not with positive thinking, it is with conscious attention. It is a deliberate rewiring. You must become an archaeologist of the good. You must actively, purposefully search for the evidence that contradicts your brain's biased story. This is a practice. It is not denying the negative. It is simply refusing to grant it a monopoly on your attention. At the end of each day, you must force yourself to recall 3 specific good things that happened: a moment of connection, a task completed, a beautiful sight, a kind word spoken or received. This feels trivial, even foolish at first, but you are not doing it to feel good. You are doing it to recalibrate your instrument of perception. You are teaching your brain to stop scanning only for threats and to start noticing resources, opportunities, and beauty. You are building new neural pathways. You are literally changing the structure of your brain to be more balanced, more accurate, and more resilient. This practice builds an emotional buffer. When the negative event inevitably happens, it no longer has the power to wipe out everything else. It becomes one event among many, not the defining event of your entire existence. You begin to see the whole picture. And in that whole picture, you find the courage to take calculated risks, to appreciate the present, and to finally recognize the abundance that has been there all along. This practice of seeking the light, of recalibrating your focus, builds a foundation of resilience. But there is a fifth and final mistake that can undermine it all. It is the most seductive prison of all, the pursuit of perfection. You believe you must be perfect to begin, perfect to be loved, perfect to be worthy of success. So you don't start the project, you don't apply for the job, you don't have the difficult conversation, you hide, you procrastinate, you wait for the mythical day when you will finally feel ready, when you will finally be good enough. This is not high standards, this is a fear of judgment disguised as virtue. Perfectionism is not about excellence, it is about armor. It is a suit you wear to protect yourself from the vulnerability of being seen trying and failing. But that armor is a cage, it is heavy, it isolates you, and it guarantees that your unique voice, your unique contribution, will never be heard, because the perfect version of you does not exist. It is a ghost. And you are sacrificing your real, messy, brilliant life to chase a phantom. This mistake stems from a fundamental confusion between your worth and your performance. You have tied your identity to flawless execution. A mistake is not a data point, it is a personal indictment. This is why feedback feels like an attack, why a setback feels like a death sentence. Your sense of self is so fragile that it cannot withstand the slightest imperfection. But here is the truth that will set you free. Your worth is inherent, it is not earned, it is not negotiable, it exists simply because you do. Your value as a human being is separate from your output, your achievements, or your failures. You are a soul having a human experience, not a resume needing to be perfected. Embracing this truth is the ultimate act of liberation. It allows you to step into the arena, not as a flawless performer, but as a courageous learner. This is where your power truly lies, in the courage to be imperfect, in the willingness to be a beginner, in the resilience to fail and try again. This is how innovation is born. This is how art is made. This is how deep connections are forged, through the vulnerability of showing up as you are, not as you think you should be. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. Excellence is a byproduct of iteration, of learning, of falling down and getting back up. The master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. Your imperfections are not your enemies. They are your guides. They show you where to grow. They make you relatable. They make you human. And it is in your humanity that your greatest strength and connection are found. Let go of the need to have it all figured out. Surrender the exhausting performance. Your life is waiting for you on the other side of that surrender. It is a life of daring greatly, of laughing at your own stumbles, and of building something real, something beautiful, something truly your own. Now proceed to write the next section 1,000 words by seamlessly continuing the flow from the previous section. Maintain the same motivational depth, psychological triggers, and emotionally engaging style. Do not mention transitions like in the next section. Instead, naturally connect it with the previous content to make it feel cohesive and professional. Ensure every sentence builds momentum, keeps the audience engaged, and delivers a high-impact message that triggers inspiration. Avoid unnecessary storytelling that drifts away from the motivational tone. Keep the energy strong and the delivery powerful. If no section next, please create one more next to it note. No section number, no heading, no numbers, no bullets, only plain text. These 5 mistakes are not separate. They are a chain that has been holding you back. Believing your thoughts keeps you trapped in your own head. Living in the waiting room robs you of your present joy. Personalizing everything makes you a victim of circumstance. Filtering for negativity convinces you the world is against you, and demanding perfection paralyzes you from ever beginning. Together, they form a self-free, enforcing loop of inaction, anxiety, and quiet despair. But a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and you now hold the tools to break every single one. This is not about adding more to your life. This is about subtracting the obstacles you have already built. It is a return to your natural state of clarity, courage, and action. The path forward is not complicated. It is a simple, daily practice of awareness and choice. It begins the moment you wake up. You notice a limiting thought, and you choose to label it, not believe it. You feel the pull to postpone your happiness, and you choose to find one small joy in the now. You sense yourself taking something personally, and you choose to release it, remembering it's not about you. You catch your mind focusing on the negative, and you choose to actively search for one piece of evidence that things are okay. You feel the fear of not being good enough, and you choose to take the imperfect action anyway. This is the work, not a grand, sweeping gesture, but a quiet revolution fought in 1,000 tiny moments of choice throughout your day. This is how you rewire your brain. This is how you reclaim your life. You were never broken, you were just operating on outdated software. Software designed for survival in a world that no longer exists. Today, you install the update. The update is called awareness. The update is called choice. The update is called presence. This is your new operating system. It runs on the fuel of your own attention, and it allows you to finally build a life not based on fear, lack, and conditional future promises, but on engagement, purpose, and the profound peace of being fully here. The mistakes ends now, the waiting ends now, the war with yourself ends now. Your life begins now in this breath with this choice. Choose to see clearly, choose to act bravely, choose to be here. The power was always in the choosing.